Greetings, brothers and sisters. I am in New Zealand, as many of you know. We are just setting up for Sabbath school worship service here in New Zealand. I wanted to take a few minutes to share with you a video with you that someone sent to me earlier, I believe this morning or last night. At least I saw it this morning. And this has to do with giving the right to a mountain, or the personhood right to a mountain here in New Zealand. Now keep in mind, this is nature worship. Keep also in mind the Sunday Law movement. And at the end of the video, they're gonna tell you the reason why they have given this mountain this personhood right. And it's not just being equal with human, but it is also to supersede the right of a human being. Listen carefully at the end of the video why they say that mountain has that personhood right at this moment.
A mountain is no longer just a mountain. In a legal shift, New Zealand has granted personhood to Taranaki Maunga, recognizing it as a living entity with rights and protections. Our next report telling you more about how this is not just about law, it's a lot more than that.
Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, the ayes have it.
A new law redefines the relationship between nature and humans. New Zealand has taken the extraordinary step of granting personhood to one of its most iconic landmarks. Its Mount Taranaki now has a legal identity, Taranaki Maunga. The unprecedented move signals a profound reconciliation of indigenous rights with environmental stewardship. The landmark legislation marks a historic victory for the Maori people, whose ancestral connection to the 2,518-meter peak stretches back centuries. Granting personhood to the mountain represents a decisive break from colonial practices that systematically displaced indigenous guardianship.
But let me be really, really clear. Our tupuna never ceded sovereignty over our maunga. No raupatu, no act of government, no colonial decree could ever sever our connection with our maunga. We grew up knowing there was nothing anyone could do to make us any less connected.
The legal framework bestows upon Taranaki Maunga all the powers, duties and protections afforded to human beings under New Zealand law. The recognition serves as a powerful acknowledgement of historical wrongs, addressing the mountain's theft from local Maori communities during colonization. For generations, indigenous voices were silenced in decisions about the mountain's management, while hunting and sports groups wielded significant influence.
I acknowledge traditional Maori practices associated with the mountains were banned, while tourism was promoted. Pests such as possums were introduced and led to destruction of the native forest in some parts.
The recognition also echoes global reverence for sacred mountains. Hundreds of millions revered the Himalayas, the abode of snow, as the source of sacred rivers such as the Ganga, whose life-giving waters have sustained civilizations. Mount Kailash, located in Tibet's remote western region, is considered one of the most sacred mountains in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism and Bon religions. Hindus believe it to be the abode of Lord Shiva, while Buddhists view it as the center of the universe. Similarly, Govardhana Hill in Vrindavan, the holy town in Uttar Pradesh, northern India, is revered for its association with Lord Krishna. As climate change threatens the world's most sacred and fragile landscapes. This decision in New Zealand sets a precedent. Will other nations follow suit?
This sounds like what Revelation chapter 13 tells us in verse 12. And he causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Now this is nature worship, as Romans 1 tells us. They worship the creature rather than the creator. And this has everything to do with the Pope's encyclical to give nature back its right. That has to do with worshiping Mother Earth, Gaia, which also calls for Sunday sacredness. These are indeed the last days. May God keep us safe. May God keep us faithful, because we are entering in the final hours indeed of this earth history. God bless you.